What's going on, film fans? Thomas L here. With the saddened passing of Hollywood legend Burt Reynolds, I decided to do a list of my top 10 favorite Burt Reynolds movies. I mean, the guy's been around forever, and he's been in some really good stuff. Some not so good stuff, I will admit, but anyway, let me get you the list. At number 10 is this little film. It's actually a recent one. It's this little film they did called The Last Movie Star, where he plays like an aging Hollywood actor who gets like a invite because he's being honored, but it turns out that's not like a major award thing. It turns out to be just regular people like movie fans at a bar. I mean, this movie is actually terrific. They have cool cutback scenes where with a Burt Reynolds, like a young Burt Reynolds. If you haven't seen The Last Movie Star, it's really darn good. It's directed by Adam Rifkin, who did stuff like Detroit Rock City, Look. Good director. You also got a cast that includes Chevy Chase, Ariel Winter from Modern Family fame, Nikki Bolonsky from Hairspray, Clark Duke is in this, um, Ella Coltrane, who was in the movie Boyhood. He was really good. I mean, if you guys still haven't seen Last Movie Star by now, it's on DVD, and I don't know if it's like on Netflix or anything, but whenever you get a chance, give it a go. It's a really nice little flick, and it'll kind of make you tear up. And like towards the end, it'll make you tear up. Coming in at number 9 is the 1981 film titled Sharky's Machine, which is a really funny crime film. It stars Burt Reynolds, who is demoted to Vice, who plays like a policeman who's devoted to Vice after a bus goes terribly wrong. He and his team stumble across a mob murder tied to a prostitution and government. It's based on like a novel by William Deal, and Burt Reynolds both starred and directed the movie. It's a really good crime film. I mean, this is pure '80s culture. I mean, it's a good movie. If you guys haven't seen Sharky's Machine, check that one out. It's another good Burt Reynolds classic. And Burt Reynolds was a pretty decent director too. I keep forgetting that he directed stuff. Coming in at number 8 is the 2005 remake of The Longest Yard, the one that starred Adam Sandler and Chris Rock. Now, a lot of people, of course, don't like this one, but I'm one of the few rare folks who really dug the remake. Now, it's not as good as the original, but I really dug it. Burt Reynolds actually in this plays like a former football player who technically takes Sandler's character off his wing, and he's kind of like a mentor to Adam Sandler's character. Like Burt Reynolds was really good in the remake. Of course, Burt Reynolds plays like a different character than than the character he played in the original. I mean, if you guys haven't seen the Longest Yard remake, it's actually really funny. I've seen it on TV a couple of times and still own it on DVD. I laugh every time. Of course, I'm biased because I am a big Sandler fan. All right, coming in at number 7 is the 1972 action classic Deliverance, which starred Jon Voight and Burt Reynolds. Now, this is a classic right here. I mean, it pretty much is about like an outdoor fanatic named Lewis Medlock who takes his friend on a river raft trip. Then they'll never forget. Like they pretty much go on a rafting trip that they never forget, and they go into like dangerous American backgrounds. I mean, it's based on like a book by James Dickey. It was directed by James Borman. Burt Reynolds and John Voight both had good chemistry. You also had the likes of Ned Beatty, Ronnie Cox. Really good little movie. I mean, it's a classic. If you guys haven't seen Deliverance, it's a classic thriller, and it'll leave you guessing. Like it's loads of fun. Coming in at number 6 is the 2005 big screen remake of the Dukes of Hazzards, which of course is based on the TV show, and this one had Burt Reynolds as the role of Boss Hogg. You also had the likes of like Johnny Knoxville and Sean William Scott played the Duke boys. You also had Jessica Simpson as Daisy Duke. Whew. Jessica Simpson in this movie. My God. Also, you got like Willie Nelson was actually awesome as Uncle Jesse. And it was also from the same people who gave us the Brooklyn Lizard, French. It's pretty much from the Brooklyn Lizards guys. This movie is really a hysterical film. I thought Burt Reynolds was a perfect Hog. You know, he really played this role wonderfully. The guy could play a villain well. I mean, I always keep forgetting how good of a villain Burt Reynolds could be. But you know, if you guys haven't seen the Dukes of Hazzard remake, lots of people don't really like it. But I'm one of the rare folks who love this remake. I'm still like slightly disappointed we never got to see a sequel to it, yeah. Coming in at number 5 is the original Longest Yard, which came out like in 1974 or 5, and it starred Burt Reynolds as a quarterback who pretty much gets arrested and sent to prison, and he pretty much plays football for prison. I mean, it's a really classic football movie. I mean, Burt Reynolds was awesome here. You also got like Eddie Albert was really good. You know, it's really 70s classic comedy. And if you guys haven't seen the original Longest Yard as well, I'll say watch this first, then watch the Adam Sandler one, because I think you'll probably get kicked out of both of them. Coming in at number 4 is one of my favorite anime movies, and that is All Dogs Go to Heaven. I really love this movie. It has like some darn good music in it. Like Burt Reynolds pretty much plays like the lead dog in it. You also got Dom DeLuise, R.I.P. Dom DeLuise. He was awesome in this movie. Like Burt Reynolds voices the lead dog named Charlie B. Barkin. Barkin, get it? Who's like a German Shepherd with a shady past, and he breaks out of the New Orleans dog pound with his helpful friend Itchy, voiced by Dom DeLuise. And he also like develops a friendship with this little girl who is played by the late Judith Bossy, who sadly passed away at a very young age. Like this, like All Dogs Go to Heaven is probably one of my favorite anime movies. It's like so endearing, it's so cute, charming. I mean, if you guys still haven't seen All Dogs Go to Heaven, it's fantastic. There's also a sequel, which I admit wasn't as good as this one. The sequel had Charlie Sheen in it. I mean, you don't replace Burt Reynolds with Charlie Sheen, But yeah, I love the first All Dogs Go to Heaven movie. I used to watch that thing tons of times as a kid. They don't really show it on TV as much as they used to, but number 3, we got Boogie Nights, which of course starred Burt Reynolds as a porn director. Yep, Burt Reynolds was a porn director in this. And this was and he actually scored, I think it was like his first Oscar nomination, if I'm not mistaken. But he didn't win. He lost out to Robert Williams for Good Will Hunting. Boogie Nights was directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. and had the likes of the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman, Mark Wahlberg, Heather Graham, Don Cheadle, John C. Reilly. This had a terrific ensemble. I mean, it's really awesome. It's an awesome film. Good performances. Reynolds was just amazing. If you guys haven't seen Boogie Nights by now, check it out. It's another good flick. Coming in at number 2 is the 1984. Coming in at number 2 is the 1984 classic not 84. The 1981, I accidentally clicked to Cannonball Run 2, which was good also. Cannonball Run is an awesome movie. It was directed by Hal Needham, and it had the likes of Roger Moore, the late Farrah Fawcett, Jack Ann was in this, Dom DeLuise, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Terry Bradshaw, Jamie Farr, Peter Fonda. Amazing cast. And it's pretty much like a sports film about cross-country road race. I mean, this movie is a comic classic. It's loads of fun. There's also, like I said, there's also a sequel, which I mean isn't as good as this one, but it's still worth a watch. Like, if you guys still haven't seen the Cannonball Run and you want a good 80s comedy to watch, this is definitely another 80s comedy to check out. I also remember hearing words about a reboot or remake of Cannonball Run. I'm down for it, but I don't know if it could replace the Burt Reynolds classic. All right, coming in at number 1 is no surprise. At number 1 is the 1977 classic comedy Smokey and the Bandit. I mean, this movie is hysterical. I mean, in that movie, they mentioned like the last movie star. There's a scene where that features like a flashback scene with Burt Reynolds in his Smokey and the Bandit phase. I thought that was a cool throwback to Smokey and the Bandit. Smokey and Bandit was also directed by Needham. And he pretty much plays a bandit who is hired to run a tractor trailer full of beer over state lines in hot pursuit by a pesky sheriff. Sally Field actually played his wife. You also got Jerry Reed. Pretty decent supporting cast. I mean, Smoking Bandit is there. It's a 70s classic comedy. Burt Reynolds was amazing. He had great chemistry with Sally Field. The sequel was pretty decent too, but like Cannonball Run, it wasn't as good as the original. I mean, if you guys still haven't seen Smokey and the Bandit by now, like see if it's on Netflix. Check it on TV whenever it's on. Give Smokey and the Bandits a go. It's a really funny comedy, and it's a classic. Okay, that's pretty much my list of my top 10 favorite Burt Reynolds movies. Let me run down the list. Number 10, The Last Movie Star. Number 9, Sharky's Machine. Number 8, The Longest Yard, the remake. Number 7, Deliverance. Number 6, The Dukes of Hazzard. Number 5, the original Longest Yard. Number 4, All Dogs Go to Heaven. Number 3, Boogie Nights. Number 2, Cannonball Run. And number 1, Smokey and the Bandit. All right, let me give it to you guys. What are your favorite Burt Reynolds movies? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Thomas L. signing out. And R.I.P. Burt Reynolds.